You guys see the picture behind me? Yeah. What is that? Well, most people know what the Beis Hamikdash is supposed to look now, right? Is that how the Beis Hamikdash really looked? So we have descriptions in many books of what the Second Temple eventually looked like. We have Maseches Midos. We have guesses what the First Temple looked like. We know its dimensions, what it looked like on the outside, what was its motifs. So people guess, well, it had a lot of Phoenician influence because Tyrians were providing the material and the handiwork, and there was an alliance already between the Jewish kingdom and the Egyptian kingdom, and the Egyptians were the superpower at the time. So you'd imagine that the temple to God in Jerusalem had, looked like temples used to look in the olden days, somewhere between Egypt and Assyria. Okay, that's what they guess. They really know there's a Yachid and a Boaz, gold, a lot of gold all over the place. Well, we have descriptions, but we just have descriptions. Herod's temple, we have more descriptions. We also know about the materials. Matter of fact, the materials, the walls, the columns are still there. Okay, the different colors of marble. So we know the materials very well. But artists have, over the centuries, depicted the Second Temple in many different ways. The Rambam famously, as we saw, thought that the Second Temple was cubic in structure. Well, almost cubic to the eye, but again, you can measure it would be trapezoidal, but it was cubic. Whereas most other Rishonim simply don't understand the Mishnah and the Gemara that way, right? So, who was the famous artist who created the model that's now at the museum, the Israel Museum? That model that everybody knows about. Who made it? Conrad Schick, whoever it was, one of them. And since then, people have guessed that the temple, because it looks so nice, and it incorporates what kind of motifs? We imagine the Herodian temple. What it looked like? What would you call that style? Greco-Roman, classical Greco-Roman. Most of us imagine it. You know what? That's how it should have looked. So every depiction of the temple, past and future, sort of resembles that classical Greco-Roman imagination of the Second Temple. And it's not just an amazing coincidence. I think that actually is alluding to something that's fundamental regarding beauty and aesthetics. And what is that? Humans have tried to create things of beauty for a long time, right? There's certain architectural styles that come in and out. You can see there are things that are in fashion in the 20s, the 50s, the 70s, the 80s, right? They look like state of the art then. And already, just 30 years later, people are looking at these things and saying, dear God, that's awful, right? Yet there are things that you look back throughout all the ages and you say, wow, this actually looks pretty good. Same with certain forms of music. There's music that's in vogue for like a year. Then you hear it a little while later and it's like, this is terrible. Yet there's certain forms of music produced even by Goyim, many of it produced by Goyim, is classical in the sense that it sounds really good all the time, right? And it turns out it's actually good for you. You sit around listening to it, makes your brain work, it actually lowers your blood pressure, right? There are certain forms of beauty that, like Chazal said, Yafta Lakim Liyefes, objectively speaking, Chazal said, Greek is a beautiful language, objectively speaking. That wasn't subjective. It's subjective according to Halacha. They give a nafkamina. You could write your Sefer Torah in Greek. They didn't say about other languages. They actually puzzled all the other languages, right? And they didn't say Hebrew is inherently beautiful like Greek is. Hebrew is what? Holy. Okay? Lashon Kodesh. Yavdil Kin Liefes. This Greco-Roman style of architecture is, I hate to say it, but it's objectively beautiful. Which is why when anybody, even the Frum Jews, Rabbi Makover and the Machon Mikdash and everybody else who's drawing how a third temple should look, and the people on the ground who are actually trying to create Kalim, and now there's a guy who's actually, he's hewing the stones for the second temple. What type of second temple is third temple, what's he trying to build? A Greco-Roman temple. They're not going to use some sort of God forbid, God-forsaken style from some, I don't know, get the, whatever.
It's not going to be brutalist, modern.
Yeah, not going to be Art Deco, postmodern, whatever it might be. Well,
it's not.
Yeah, I still think. Okay, fine. God forbid. Okay, you know what a temple looked like, and even though the Rambam Paskins based on the Gemara and what we have in history, the Mishkan was gold within without. The first temple was gold within and without. The Rambam says what we saw this mitzvah to coat it with gold, right? Herod thought to do so. No, it looks good the way it is. Most people don't imagine a third temple overlain with gold. What do they imagine? White marble with some color thrown in, so here and there. That will look better. Herod was onto something. Okay, yeah. So there is an objective standard of beauty. I think that we can all do this. There's certain things that are no longer subjective.